All right, so we are back one day before Thanksgiving, first off, so I hope you guys are thankful, and I am thankful for you guys allowing me to keep doing this as a full-time job, as my career, and just living this crazy life that I live. Thank you all for that. But also one day away from the Supercard in Qatar, and today is going to be my open workout and final predictions because I don't think we'll have time to do a video on the weigh-ins themselves. We'll cover what we can here, and I think honestly we're gonna get pretty much everything we need to know. In fact, we'll talk about the weigh-ins on my live stream watch party right here, I guess 6 a.m. tomorrow. It's going to be an eye-opener, so grab your coffee, grab your breakfast. It's going to be a banger of a card. Regardless, today is the open workout, and again, the drama for your mama is coming out in Misfits boxing between Gib, KSI, Leon Wills. It's all getting aired out. Bad blood rising to the surface, but how much of it is real? How much of it is promo? I don't have that answer, but we're going to see today, and I'm going to make final predictions for every fight on the card. So let's break down all the fighters and their workouts, and then we'll take a look at how real this beef is in the main event. Misfits 19, open workouts, the breakdown. Let's go. This is Amir Cashman's opponent, I think. Amir Cashman is the prospect on Misfits roster. But here's his opponent. His opponent 6-6, apparently does have 6 knockouts. I think he's lost his last 4, but you know, this is a tough match for a guy that only has 1 professional fight in Amir Cashman. So this will be interesting. So let's see how he does during this fight, and I'm predicting I'll say decision victory. All right, here's Swarms. Apparently Swarms has a new team, a new coach. Good head movement, you know what I mean? Swarms suffers from being a very good athlete that is trying to learn to box. And he's got great instincts for movement, right? You can see got good instincts for you know, quickness and moving his head and all that, but you can see he's got a bit of the happy feet. That's what I'm kind of looking at, like how it's been a little bit maybe tougher for him to have solid footwork. You can see it kind of there, a little bit of happy feet, but I like all this. Triple jab, he's really snappy, quick, and I would say Swarms in any other sport destroys Luis Pineda as an athlete versus athlete matchup, but this is why boxing is so different. Luis Pineda, he just has to know how to box better and have more muscle memory and have more experience than Swarms, and he does have all 3 of those. Why is Fox in a Gucci hat holding his mitts? Don't have those answers. But Pineda is going to be more fluid. He's going to have more shots at his repertoire, and he just has more experience. Pineda and Swarms. I am going to say, God, I love Swarms. Swarms is my guy, man. I want him to win this fight, but I do think that it will be Pineda. I think Luis Pineda wins this, and I think it's just, again, because of the things, I don't know, is this a 4-round fight? I'm not sure. But it's because of the things I've said. I think that Pineda's just got a little bit more experience. He'll be a little bit of a faster starter, not afraid to let his hands go as much, where Swarms is very twitchy, and all that stuff is very good, and he's popping his jab out, but Pineda will be more interested in getting stuck into this fight. He will have less concern, more aggression to, especially after what Ed Matthews did to Swarms, to really go out and, like I said, put it on him. And I think that's just going to be the difference, where Swarms will have good footwork and he may not, you know, take a ton of damage. I just think the aggression from Pineda and the fact that he has a lot more experience will see him through this fight. It's a tough fight for Swarms, but I respect him taking it. And yeah, Pineda, vamos. And then we get Chase Demore. I think this is, what is this guy's name? Gary something. And they used to be not good friends, and now they're like training together, I guess. But here's Chase. He's fighting Kells. Walking around in his Hokas. Whoa, hold on, Chase. Oh, okay, a little bit of power, a little bit of twist in the hips, a little bit of turnover here from Chase. It's taken him a while to take to the sport, but I commend his commitment, bars, to boxing, and I've always just wanted to see what would happen if Chase started to actually understand and get the muscle memory for boxing. Big, strong guy, athletic, a super freak athlete, so it was just a matter of time, and he's starting to, it looks like, kind of get it. I just realized he's showing off for his opponent. He's talking to Kells. One more time for you, right? Ready? Yeah, I mean, this is good power and stuff, but man, he is so stiff still, and his chin is just up in the air like it just don't care. I think Kells, for what it's worth, has played football. I could be mistaken. If it wasn't Kells, it was somebody else. But I think he played football in the UK. Maybe it wasn't, but here he is on the mitts. Okay. You know, and honestly, he missed the mitt with this one here. You know, he throws the jab, and the right hand was not quite there. There's a little bit of miscommunication here, but you know, I actually don't mind that Kells is throwing just straight punches here, jab and right hand. I don't mind that. I'd like to see his hands a little higher. I'd like to see his chin tucked a little more. But the guy's only trained for a couple of months. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I mean, this is Rock'em Sock'em Robots. Whoever lands first and with power is probably going to have an advantage throughout the rest of the fight. I'm going to take Chase. I'm going to take Chase just because I think he's got a little more experience. He's had some more time in the game now. That will ultimately make the difference because he's been in so many different scenarios, whether it's winning, punching Stevie Knight's lifeless body on the ground, being in there with Alan Belcher. He's had more experience. He understands this game a little more. And yeah, I just think that experience, that time, and the semblance of muscle memory will come through for Chase. But then we get to, again, probably going to be the fight of the night, Yuddy Gang and Lil Cray Cray. We don't really have to watch a ton of the open workout stuff for them. We know what we're going to get. High-level boxing here. The highest level boxing we'll get on the card. Outside of Amir Cashman, it's these two. He won the first one. Well, the first one was called off due to a freaking bomb threat, but he won the actual full fight between him and Cray Cray. The actual first fight. I think for Cray Cray, the adjustment this time is to start faster. Honestly, to avoid that jab, use his head movement, work in the pocket. I think more so he'll try to win this fight on technique and skill. So a skill for skill matchup, Southpaw versus Orthodox. And I want to move Cray Cray, but I think I'm gonna have to go with Yuddy Gang again. Yuddy Gang wins the rematch, and I think it just makes for one of the better fights on the card. I don't know how many rounds this will be. I hope it's 5, maybe 6. I would hope, honestly, 6 would be dope. Regardless, I think that Yuddy Gang has the skills to get it done, and I think it's what will happen. All right, then we have Warren Spencer. I called him the tool man yesterday, and I didn't mean it derogatorily, but he is the mechanic, and he's doing his open workout with shades on. Love the head movement. I enjoy this, man. He looks sharp. Open workout and sunglasses. It's an interesting move. I think that Nick LMAO is taking a tougher fight than potentially he knows. I don't know that I even saw Nick workout, so we don't have Nick LMAO's workout, but again, short notice fight. Don't know how in shape Warren Spencer is. I know Nick was very obviously adamant on the J fight. I'm gonna go Warren here. I'm gonna go the mechanic. I think this is gonna be an upset. I think potentially a bit of the size and the quickness of Warren may get to Nick a little bit. It's a little different from Jay Swingler in that it was raw power. You're seeing a guy with good feet here. You're seeing a guy that can move. I think we might go the first maybe upset on the card here, and Nick is gonna kill me for saying that, and I hope that Nick comes out at like Nick 2.0, but I do think Warren Spencer might get him here. And here is the guy Warren fought. Again, I think that one might have been short notice. I don't remember, but here is Ben Williams. Very good technically. Great shadow boxing. What I like about guys that are experienced when they shadow box is that there's a plan behind a lot of what they're doing. There's good head movement, specific punches, good twists. That's what I enjoy when I watch guys that are experienced, because, you know, if I were to shadow box, I'm just throwing punches. I sometimes don't even know why I'm throwing them. I'm just throwing them. This is good. This is good work. And again, this is another potential fight of the night because he's taking on Jarvis. Jarvis with Otis here. And Jarvis looks very, very crisp. Rolling under. Rolling under. Nice right hand to the body as he rolls. Head movement. We like this. One thing I will say about Jarvis that worries me is that when he does throw in combination, his head stays on the center line. And that's going to be the case for a lot of guys in the influencer scene. I think Ben has a little bit more experience with the amateur circuit where it is a lot more, I won't say point fighting, but it is a lot more technically based, and your head movement does allow you to win some fights, honestly, to be very slick and to touch and go, touch and go. If they do sit down in the pocket, I think Jarvis is a little more compact and doesn't throw as many wide shots, and everything is, you know, very much like bop, 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 bop in the pocket where he works. I want to see that next evolution here from Jarvis. I want to see his feet get a little better. I want to see him in and out of range. I want to see him move his head. Man, this is another tough one to call. I have really no idea. You want to talk about 50-50 fights? I'm going to say Jarvis grinds out a victory here because I think Ben's volume will fall off a cliff if they go into the later round. If Ben can hurt Jarvis early, then this whole theory goes to shit. And honestly, Ben should win the fight based on his experience and based on his level of you know, being in the game for as long as he has. But Jarvis with a great team, with a good coach and Otis. So I'm going to take Jarvis in a grind out decision to keep his belt. And then we have W.A.D.E Savage as he gets ready for Deji. He's also working out in the shades. This man is going to get destroyed inside of one round. But Deji did something a little different for his open workout. He sparred daily. I'm not making that up. He sparred his coach daily, which in all honesty is probably more tough than the fight he will have come Thursday night. Nice jab from Daly to start the spar at the open workout. Gives him a little Floyd Mayweather, right? Get on that lead foot. Doink. Hold that jab, and we slide away. Deji laughs. He likes it. A little head movement from Daly. Daly with the right hand fires back. Hey, nice head movement from Dej. Daly says, stand here. Let's throw. Hey, good head movement. Get in and out. Hey, again, nice. Good shoulder work from Dej, too. Get off the ropes, though, yeah. Aye! He's slick, man. Look at that. Level change. Gets Daly to bite. Goes jab. Jab to the body. Pull back. Bang. Left hand. Stuns him. Beautiful.
What are you going to do Thursday night?
Absolute domination. Domination. I was thinking demolish and domination, yeah. Demolition. There you go.
Put it all together.
Yeah, W.A.D.E Savage is not a sick opponent for Deji, but it is what it is. Let's just get the fight done with and move on with Deji's continuous career. And then we have our co-main event, King Kenny, Salt Papi. This one's a banger and probably would have been a main event on any other, you know, Misfits card that wasn't a super card or wasn't a pay-per-view. But right away, before we even like watch the little bit that we're going to watch here from Kenny, what I love from Daly is that his pad work is specific to Salt Papi. Not just with the southpaw stance, but with the specific stance and the lead hand being where it is and him sinking a little bit lower to emulate the height. I love this. I'm not sure what that right hand feint is from Kenny there. But I do like him just continuously touching with the lead hand, showing his frame, being there. The one thing I will say, and I think that, you know, this is one of the strengths that Deji has that Kenny hasn't necessarily shown sometimes, but he keeps his head almost squarely on the center line. Not just when he's punching, but also when he isn't. Like, you don't see a lot of head movement from Kenny, really, ever. And that can be a problem, right? So then we got Salt Papi, who did his open workout fighting Orthodox, which is not going to happen. I would almost guarantee he does not come out Orthodox against Kenny. That would be a mistake, because who cares that we all know that Salt Papi's a southpaw? Who cares? Like, who cares that Kenny knows it? Who cares that we've seen it before? You're not fooling anybody by going Orthodox, because it's not about the offense when you switch stance. Yes, it's a great tempo switch. It's a great way to flip the script and make someone defend something maybe they haven't prepared for. But in this case, Kenny has fought Orthodox fighters before, so that muscle memory comes back pretty quick if you want to switch. It's more so to me about the defense. Can you defend yourself if you switch stances? Are your hands going to be in the right place? Do you know where your exits and entries are? Like, that's more of a big deal to me than the offense. He doesn't look terrible out of the Orthodox stance. Now, again, he's just hitting mitts, but he would look better Orthodox than I would look southpaw. I'll say that, you know. So, yeah, not a lot there that you can get from King Kenny and Salt Papi, but I think, again, it's one of those situations where we kind of already know what we're getting from both guys. I think Papi has to be a bit more active with his hands, which does invite a lot of damage to come back his way, right? You know, if he's more active, then Kenny's going to be more active with the lead hand and things like that. But like I said, sometimes you gotta risk it for the biscuit. I do like that Papi has a one-hitter quitter in his left hand. We haven't seen it maybe in a while, but I think masking it for this fight is going to be super crucial because, like I said, Kenny's got good eyes, so the more you show him one punch, the more I think you're going to get found out pretty quickly, and he's going to be able to control the fight with his lead hand. So if Papi can avoid the lead hand, get his head off center line to avoid the jab, step in, and counter, he's got devastating one-punch power. Papi can you know, step back, counter, and hurt Kenny, and then follow up, I think we could definitely see a stoppage for Poppy. I'm going to go with Kenny. Again, I think he's stronger than people give him credit for. I think he's got such a massive reach advantage. I just want him to get his head off the center line. If he doesn't do that, I'm making this pick with a caveat. If Kenny does not get his head off the center, that left hand is going to come screaming down the pipe, and it's going to be brutal. And then we have our main event of the evening, Gib versus Slim. Let's take a look at Slim's open workout first. Slim working with the bands here. What I do like, and what I think is one of Slim's biggest strengths, is that he's learned to box from a boxing professional gym, a gym that has produced high-level world champions. So what they don't let him do is get away with lazy hand placement, and you'll see what I mean in a second here. Like, look at where Slim's hands always are, right? They are always here, always in position to bang, bang, bang. It's not bang, bang, bang. It's not bang, bang, right? It's none of that. It's always boom, 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 boom. Everything comes right back to protect his chin, and he does a good job of also burying his chin and looking through his eye like brow line. These are just little things that you don't necessarily see a lot in influencer boxing. And here he's talking to KSI, and he actually, I think we could find the clip on Twitter.
I got you. I promise. All the disrespect. All the disrespect. I promise you, bro. All that disrespect. I'm gonna get smoked.
He said, I promise you, with all that disrespect Gib gave you, he's getting smoke. Again, it feels so odd to me to watch this like buddy cop thing go on between Slim and KSI. But I kind of like it. It's like an unholy alliance. I don't know. It's starting to grow on me, the Slim and KSI completely manufactured friendship to take down Gib. Very, very sound fundamentally. And again, that's Andre Rozier. But look at the head movement. Look at the this is good stuff. I mean, y'all might not want to give Slim credit. Y'all want to say he's sloppy. He's definitely not. Like, he is crisp here. He looks very good. Boom, 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 boom. Head off, roll under, hook, roll under, right hand. Very nice. Combination punching. And again, you're not seeing Slim try to just kill the mitts, right? You're not seeing him throw super heavy. You're seeing him throw very crisp shots.
Walk me through how this goes down in the main event on Thursday.
Man, once he feels my power, a lot of people see me as a skinny, frail guy, but once he feels my power, he's going to be very scared. I promise you that. I'm going to knock him out under 3 rounds.
Knocking him out under 3 rounds. Listen, I am with Slim that just because he is skinny does not mean he doesn't possess power. Power, especially in boxing, comes from technique. It comes from repetition, from building the correct style in which to punch, right? It comes from the floor to the hip to the arm. Sure, having muscle mass is going to increase that if you already have the fundamentals of punching down. But Slim is powerful because he has a long reach. He has a whipping motion when he throws his right hand, and he understands how to get that kinetic energy through it, right? It's not just a right hand from a strong guy. It's a dude that knows how to punch, that turns everything with it from the ground, up the chain, through the right hand. It comes more naturally, I would say, to Slim than it does for a lot of guys in influencer boxing. A knockout in under 3 rounds tells me they're going to be very aggressive with Gib. Very interested to see how they approach this, but I see Slim on the front foot trying to walk Gib down and, again, just make him eat power punches and try to get Gib to stay in the pocket with him versus making this a drawn-out, longer fight. All right, so let's take a look now at Gib's open workout, and it starts right where we left off between Gib and KSI. KSI there. Obviously, you saw he watched Slim workout, and now he's there, and he starts chirping Gib a little bit, starts heckling him from the outside, and it goes on throughout the workout, which is awesome. Again, if this part of it is just fight promo, that's great, but it's also great if it isn't. I don't care if it's personal, if it's not. I love this because it's just interesting. It's just fun to see a little bit of chirping that you believe in a bit. So you hear KSI, I don't know if you guys could hear it. It was very, very faint, but he said, are you just going to skip all day? He said, are you going to start throwing some punches?
If you want, you can get in the ring where we can spar. Let's get it.
If you want, you can get in the ring and we'll spar. Let's get it.
Yeah, avoid it. Avoid it. It's out there. Avoid it. It's out there.
Go fight Slim.
Let's go.
Go fight Slim and lose, bro.
It's a nice comeback. But that's how you saw it already kicked off a little bit. KSI trying to just chirp and get under the skin of Gib, and Gib's like, all right, come spar me then. What's up? Gib continued to work out. We're going to actually take a look at him in a second, but here is KSI clowning him as he's on the mids. Woo!
Yes, let's go. Come on. A little shaky. Good hand placement though, I like it. Oh, okay. I mean, I don't think Slim's gonna do that.
Yes, I said a little shaky. All right, well, you know. And then Leon throws the overhand. He goes, I don't think Slim's going to do that. And we'll get into what happens at the end here, which is, you know, obviously what everybody is talking about between KSI and Leon and talking about the spar. But before we do that, let's actually take a look at Gib here.
Trust me, I'm a way smarter fighter than these guys give me credit for, so they're gonna find out.
We were saying that before.
Very interesting. You hear Slim say, yeah, they're throwing that overhand because they think that's what I'm going to do. I think both guys are bluffing a little bit as to what they both think both are going to do. All right, so what I like from Gib is he's starting to warm up here. It's a little thing. I like his head movement. I like him being able to bounce in between. What I don't like and what I think sometimes guys get in trouble with when they do this is this natural way of moving your head where your hands kind of move opposite, right? This kind of deal. Because it feels natural to be like your body just wants to move that way, like it feels natural, whereas in reality, if you're gonna move your head, you want your hands to move with it wherever it goes, right? That way you can keep everything in position. Again, something you saw from Slim was those hands stay glued to his chin. Right here you're seeing Gib move his head, but his hands kind of get away from his chin as he's moving a little bit. Bang, bang, jab. To the right hand, roll. We like that. I really like constant head movement when Gib is throwing. Way! Some dangerous power there. And Gib does get a little long in his punches for sure. He gets a little bit, the feet get a little wide as he throws and continues to throw in combination. That could get him into trouble with a guy like Slim who does want to sit down and throw combination punches with him. So yeah, I mean, listen, we've seen this from Gib before. We've seen what his open workouts look like. But let's hear this interview really quick.
I'm here with Gib. Gib, looking sharp, Thursday night main event. Talk to me about this.
Listen, I'm feeling deadly. 10-ounce gloves on my hands. This is exactly what I like to love. Public workout. He knows it's detonation. We're taking him out.
You've got KSI ringside right there. What's the message?
What about him? What about him?
Any message to KSI ringside?
No, I don't give a shit about him. I'm fighting Slim.
Fair enough.
Slim.
Final words to Slim.
He's getting ginned.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's the right message. This has been a lot built into KSI versus Gib and Gib versus KSI. By KSI, by Misfits, by Leon in some cases, but not by Gib. Gib did not bring up KSI as, you know, a means to sell this thing. That's been brought to him, and he's kept the focus on Slim, or tried to. He tries to there as well, but while that interview was going on, it was kind of kicking off on the outside between KSI and one of Gib's coaches, Leon Wills. Now, we're going to break this thing down. It's a minute 21 here. We got a couple different angles. I'm trying to find the one with the best volume, but I think this one does it. I think.
Tell me what happened.
They start talking about the spar, the spar that we've never gotten real answers on from anybody on any side of the equation here, from KSI's side, from Leon's side. But now all the shit is hitting the fan, and I want to know more about it. So let's listen.
Tell me what happened. No. Let's talk about the format of the spar.
So first thing, Leon says, tell me about the spar, what happened. KSI says, I obliterated it. And then Leon says, tell me about the spar, the format of the spar. Interesting.
Let's talk about the format of the spar.
Talk to me about this.
So we got there. You put 20-ounce gloves on Gib. You done 2 rounds. I had 20-ounce gloves. Yeah. You done 2 rounds.
20-ounce gloves on during the spar. Okay. The spar not meant to be in smaller gloves to protect themselves.
I had 20-ounce gloves. Yeah. You done 2 rounds. Then what happened?
He knows it's detonation. We're taking him out.
You got out of the ring and someone else came in.
Right there. What's the message?
No, you done 2 rounds. Yeah. Someone else came in the ring and sparred Gib. Then you came in off. No, it happened. JJ, but when I sparred JJ. But when I sparred Gib, no, listen, what happened?
Okay, so what's coming out is that this was a Shark Tank spar, essentially. For you guys that don't know, Leon is trying to get KSI to say that essentially the day that it went down, KSI sparred Gib for the first 2 rounds of whatever was happening that day, and then he got out And I guess this was at Shoot Fighter's gym because it seems like Gib and Leon went to their gym. And I'm not exactly sure what was said about how the sparring would go, but Gib and KSI sparred 2 rounds. Then KSI got out and another guy came in and sparred Gib for some amount of rounds. And I guess KSI then after that came back in and sparred Gib, but Gib stayed in the ring the entire time. That's what you call Shark Tank sparring, where one guy is essentially in the Shark Tank and he stays in there, right? It's just cycle through opponent after opponent, but the guy that's there to get the most work in spars fresh opponents every round or every 2 rounds or whatever it is. So again, what I think Leon is trying to get across here is that, okay, yeah, you maybe have got him in the first couple of rounds that you sparred him, but then you dipped and you took a break. And Gib stayed in there and sparred more, and then you came back and got you some. This wasn't a true one-on-one spar where we would have got to see what happens over the longevity of the spar. Whereas KSI is countering and saying, no, well, in those first 2 rounds, I fucked him up. There was no need for me to keep sparring him because I obliterated him. That's what I'm getting out of this. Man-to-man, Leon to JJ. And JJ said he wanted rounds, he wanted rounds.
You done 2 rounds, got out of the ring, someone else came in, you came back. Is that right? Right, I mean, he's okay, guys, thank you. He's sparred with someone. Listen, everyone knows he's not slow. He took the weakest round that you can do.
Ah, okay. And then you hear Leon say, everyone knows he's a slow starter. Damn, everybody has been saying this all week about Gib, and Gib's like, yeah, you'll see. Leon just said it about his own fighter. But he says that in reference to KSI getting potentially the worst version of Gib. Like, everyone knows he starts slow and he doesn't get going until, you know, the mid portion of the rounds, and you won the first 2, okay, but then you got out. You didn't get to see what happened when he gets started or when he gets going. Again, going to bat for his guy and also essentially being like, you ran after 2 rounds.
I said true, I said you don't know, I said you look good. Oh, yeah. For 2 rounds, for 2 rounds.
He said, I didn't say anything wrong. I said you looked good for 2 rounds, for 2 rounds.
2 rounds, you know. Okay. JJ, do I lie? JJ, am I honest guy? Am I honest guy? Yeah, of course you are. Exactly, that's what happened. It's a Shark Tank. They put 20 ounce gloves on Gib. What do you mean? I know. We talking about 20 ounce. I know. You done 2 rounds. Your coach taught you out to someone else. You had a rest. Someone else came in. The MMA fight came in. Then you came back in afterwards. That's what happened. But that's not a true spar. Anyone that knows boxing knows it's not a true spar.
All right, so I can really see 2 sides of this equation. One, KSI is taking a victory lap on Gib for beating him in 2 rounds of sparring, I guess, or, you know, in his words, obliterating him in 2 rounds of sparring. Whereas Leon is saying, listen, we came there to get work in a Shark Tank spar where you sparred him for 2 rounds, then you got out and Gib kept going against another fighter, and then you got back in. That's not truly indicative of beating someone in a spar or, you know, going around bragging that you have destroyed someone in a spar. You destroyed him for a couple of rounds. I think there was another video where they said that JJ didn't drop him or anything, but he just, you know, he, I guess, got the better of Gib to a high level in those 2 rounds. And JJ's like, well, that's all I needed to do. He came in, I proved the point and got out of there. Didn't need to do anymore. But if you're going to do it, you should have a full spar. Whatever the amount of time is that both guys should be in the ring together. If you're going to talk about how well you did against a guy, it needs to be you against a guy, not you against the guy for a little bit, and then your buddy comes in and takes 2 rounds while you get a breather, and then you come back in while the other guy has stayed in for the entirety of the spar. Not really indicative of how a fight would go because you're taking time off and you're not in there for the full thing. That's pretty obvious to me. Bragging about it from JJ seems petty, but at the end of the day, it's fight promotion and they're doing this back and forth. But getting back to this main event and where we'll end the video, who do I think wins between Slim and Gib? Oh, man. 8 rounds. Gosh, I feel like I've had the same thoughts on this for a very long time, and that is, you know, if it is to get to the full 8, that Gib has, I think, the advantage in a decision, potentially late stoppage, just based off the fact that the motherfucker doesn't get tired. I don't understand it, how his cardio works, but he's heavy volume, heavy pressure, and he just will not get tired. Combine that with his newfound ability to sit down on punches, and now he's been a bit more smart with his entries and exits. I think that makes him very dangerous into the later part of the fight, but I'm not sure we get into the later part of the fight. I think that Slim has some natural tools that Gib doesn't. His size, his reach, those things can't be made up for. But I also think that Slim is a bit better at inside fighting than Gib is. I think on the inside, Slim has an advantage over guys, even with his long range. There's 2 things that Gib can't do, in my opinion. One is try to trade with Slim inside the pocket, and 2, allow Slim to put him on the back foot all night. If that is the case and Slim is the one that's pushing Gib backward and making him fight off his back foot, at some point you're going to have to stand your ground. And that's kind of what Slim wants, to back him up, and make Gib stand his ground. And then Slim really gets in and starts laying combinations down. I think combination punching in the pocket goes to Slim. On the other side, there's 2 things that Slim can't do, and he can't get pushed around like Ryan Taylor was or like Tom Zanetti was able to do, because those guys gassed him out by sheer pressure and volume of punches landing on him. And also, yes, by absorbing punches. They were absorbing a lot of Slim's punches and able to just walk through them. But Gib, with the technique and the power that he has recently in the last couple of years developed, along with an insane amount of cardio and an ability to continue walking forward, continue throwing punches, that's a bad night for Slim. Honestly, like Slim off the back foot the entirety of the night, it's not going to go well for him either. Because again, it just seems like Gib gets stronger and stronger as the rounds go on. I'll say this. I see 2 forms of victory. I see Gib, late stoppage or potential, runaway decision, or I see Slim in a very violent earlier knockout. And I don't know which one's which. Oh man, making these picks when you're friends with both guys and you don't want to see anybody lose is so tough. I can't fence sit on this either. I think Slim is going to knock Gib out. I do. I see it happening into early mid part of the fight. I just think that sometimes Gib gets a little bit lax with his hand placement, and I think if he does overbelieve in his power, or overbelieve in the fact that he can sit down on punches, that Slim can hurt him badly. Slim has dropped guys that are 190 pounds, that are naturally 200-pound guys, and he just absolutely destroyed them. The Poppy fight showed me a little bit more about what Slim's gas tank will look like, and I hope that that's not the case. I don't want anyone getting knocked out in this fight. I don't want to see that for either guy, because I really do like both of them, but I am going to lean towards Slim here, and I think he does. I think Slim by stoppage. I'm sorry, Gib. I love you to death. You can put the red nose on me and clown me if I'm wrong here, and I'll fully accept it, but that's what I'm going with. Very, very close fight. 50-50 doesn't even begin to describe it, and I do want to see this thing go the distance and no one get knocked out and have one of those epic style of fights. In other words, I want it to be one that we remember. But that's where I'm at. You guys let me know what you think down below. This one's going to be interesting. Like I said, be here 6 a.m. on Thursday. We're going to be live streaming the watch party. But what happens in the main event? Is it Slim or is it Gib? What about the co-main? Is it King Kenny? Is it Salt Poppy? Is it Jarvis? Is it Ben Williams? Is it Lil Cray Cray or Yuddy Gang TV? All these fights are so close. I don't have those answers. So Misfits 19, the super card on Thursday, Thanksgiving. Give your thanks for influencer boxing in this banger of a card, and then, and only then, I guess we'll find out.